I never expected this to be so difficult. How do I start? With a simple, it's been years since we've last seen each other, or a simple, good afternoon. No, it feels too unbecoming of me, too uncharacteristic. She would probably laugh at me and poke my cheek only to tell me that we are too close for polite good afternoons. That is, if she even dares to speak to me again. It was never in my intentions to leave her side in the first place. As a butler, I had pledged to be her shadow, to follow her every move without falter. It was especially so when she told me she was worried for her future. All I could do at the time was take her hands and promise her that I would be there for her, no matter what, despite our social divide. That did not pose a problem, nor did it stop me from following her whenever she went. After all, she had defended me from those who had questioned my station. And yet, to find out on one chilly morning that I had been there, to have round of another far-off kingdom, of who knows where shadowed me, I could have rejoiced, praised the heavens endlessly that I would inherit a far greater fortune than what I was used to. Yet I did not. It was only because of the realization that I would no longer be by her side without her soft, warm hands, or first lost in mind that I disliked the idea of it, to know that I would be separated from someone whose words have shaken my very core, and had given me a reason to live, that I would no longer be looked at the same way because of my status as crown prince. How I utterly despise all of it. Somehow those worries had come true when that carriage whisked me away, and my family, to that kingdom. And my dad, how artificial everything was, from the smiles of the people themselves as they welcomed us back to the palace, to the laughter that had filled the air. It was nothing but strange, for if I was still living in that cottage, I would have been kicked around or spat at, to be treated so differently and so fragile, as though I had not suffered pain from my status as a servant. It was simply ironic, being clothed in the finest garments, or to have the chance to stroll in such beautiful palace gardens that I suppose belonged to me now, still did not mean anything to me in the slightest. Come the coronation of my father as king, I still could not find any reason to feel so proud of who I was. Despite the beautiful stained glass in the coronation hall that reflected the colorful lights, there was still a sort of radiance that was missing. That sort of radiance that only a certain someone could probably behold. It was not there amongst the crowd, nor the families of those other kingdoms that had attended. And still there's something that would break this tension if it was simply there. Her, no, your smile. It was always there when you looked in my way. It was sincere, so full of light, and as brilliant as your eyes, that shone so radiantly. That was the one thing missing during the coronation. Something real, and I knew that everything was so genuine, because the words that would slip out of your mouth would carry so much emotion that even you, gestures and emotion seemed to do the same. And how you would point out every single mistake that would arise, and pepper it with the love of yours that always seemed to be music to my ears. The reassuring tone that you would always put on whenever you would notice that something might have gone away. The way you would hold my hand and tightly squeeze it to tell me that everything was going to be alright. That is what I was missing. That was what I truly missed most of all. And yet it feels as though I have lacked in my genuineness after living a lie. I feel as though I've betrayed you most of all. and I'd left you for Mount silent celebration that one chilly morning. If you were there, I doubted you would be out some outsider. I had left you alone, with no an explanation. I do not suppose that you would forgive me, but when you glanced at my way this morning as soon as you stepped out of the carriage, your eyes carried nothing but melancholy in them. It had sent me into a spell of worry. It pains me to even think about it. Even though you could have seen it in front of me and my family, those eyes of yours held a gaze that still seemed so distant. It was never in you to hide your emotions like this. It was once so easy to read you. I had sure missed, because they'd been together for so long. I knew you didn't want to be here, not to see me once more. It felt like the coronation once more, like you were there. I remember just a few moments ago that you had taken off from the meeting hall to collect your thoughts. You excused yourself as soon as they had mentioned an alliance through marriage, quickening your pace as you burst through the doors. If I'd even looked closer, I could have sworn there were tears. Had I listened to you carefully, I might have even heard you softly weeping to yourself. There was nothing wrong with that, of course. Yet to know that it was because of my actions that you this way pains me. But if you could look my way once more, I want to see you smile again. I want to hear the twinkling laugh that I once had back, then when you twirled your way through the glistening ballroom. Do you remember that moment? Or when we had your so-called dance practice right before your first party? How cute your laugh was then, and how radiant your smile was when you did so. I want to hear that laugh of yours again, to see that sunny disposition amidst the rain clouds that I had brought upon you. If I could have seen you once more, before everything unfolded, if only I. Oh, it's nice to see you again. I'm, I'm sorry. I wish I knew earlier of my own situation. I would have told you everything immediately. It is not right that I had simply left your side without any warning. There's no reason in this world for me to have done so, for I would not have done it if I had a choice in the matter. No, I know, but it still pains me most of all to know that you were left with so many questions left unanswered. It feels unfair for the both of us to have met like this again. And how many years have gone by since we had last seen each other? It may be months, yes, but it is not like me to leave your side for so long. It is something that I shall never get used to, but now that we are beside each other now, even for a little while, I would like to be honest with you. I miss you a lot. I still do. There has not been a day where I have not thought about you. In my waking moments, in my dreams, you had always lingered on my mind, even as they placed the cape and crown on me at that coronation. Your face was the only thing that I could only envision, as I spoke to us of what was to come, while the people in the kingdom cheered for my family and I. The only thing I wanted to do was step away the cape and run back to you asking for forgiveness for leaving you without any warning, just like that. It made me wonder then, what it was that your presence had always comforted me. You were there for me even as people had laughed at my pathetic. Oh, well, I've harbored that feeling for a long time now. And it had hit me and it had made me to find out that this feeling of mine had lingered in me ever since we were children. It was love I surmised, love that had kept me by your side throughout all those years, even as I watched you dance with so many other suitors. But still, it persisted despite our social classes, more so when I became a prince. And it had brought me to the question that, Despite it all, I wondered if you had loved me too. I do not suppose you'll have to answer yet. Of course, it has been months, so I do not expect you would forgive me this instant. Perhaps I'm just a little nervous to see you like this again. And yes, I understand if you do not wish to talk to me anymore, but I simply want to apologize for everything. I shall not take it against you if you want to move on and simply forget about you. But I, I understand. I would not trouble myself with any more worrying. I could not help it, quite frankly. I dislike seeing your sad face, despite having a whole kingdom to myself. I still truly do only feel at home when you're around me like this. It is just like the old days. Do you think you could find it in your heart to love me in return? Oh, your smile is always so lovely to behold. I see. So that's your answer then. Then, my love, may I request something from you once more? I would like for you to tell me about all the months that I have been missing without you. Oh, this meeting can wait. Of course, I'll stay with you forever. It isn't like me to push you away, princess. If I'm a prince or not. You of all people should know this. I'll be all ears to hear you wave your stories, just like old times.